Let's still stay with education a while longer because the National Teaching Council has warned non-professional teachers in both private and public schools to acquire authorization to teach or face the full rigors of the law. According to the council, this is to streamline activities within the teaching space and also to comply with regulations in the Education Regulator Bodies Act 2020, Act 1023. Enoch Kwesi is Executive Director of Ghana National Council of Private Schools. He's joining me in studio for a conversation. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
So this latest ultimatum that has been given by the National Teaching Council, you must be aware of it, and what steps have you taken so far to meet the ultimatum?
All right. So as teachers and proprietors and all the activists in the private education space, we support teacher professionalism. And in that sense, there has been a lot of engagement with the Private Schools Council and other associations with the NTC, National Teaching Council, in ensuring that persons working in the private education space are professionals. Even though there is a saying that the kind of educational background that these unprofessional teachers give to the private education is a very solid one. However, there's a need for them also to be compliant in terms of the regulations. So at 1023, Section 80 grants them some sort of permission to be working within a period of 3 years and therefore fostering your steps to become a professional teacher. So it was since 2019 that we started the engagement, and we all have resolved that from now up to 31st of this month, all persons...
You mean May?
May.
Right.
All persons desirous to become professional teachers, teaching in the private schools, should register through their school. And such process is solving two major issues for the private education space. One, the teacher professionalism that we have been heckling around, that private school teachers are not professionals and all that, will be solved. Then the other aspect is that, you know, teachers come to private schools and they move frequently. And that issue has become a challenge for the private teachers. Proprietors feel very unsecured to even put in some sort of compensation and sort of, let's say, support schemes for these teachers, because when the moment they, let's say, you work with them, you cannot guarantee their activities with you for a longer period of time. So we are now going to have a sustainable workflow, let's say, workforce within the private education space. And then we groom them to become professional teachers. And that will enhance the quality of education that we are delivering at the private education front. Okay, so the collaboration between you and the Teaching Council is ongoing to get this done by the end of May deadline? Yes, it's ongoing. What we have not actually resolved is based on because there's going to be some sort of training for them. So we are looking at the kind of pedagogical content that are being put together. It will go through a sort of a rigorous assessment, then it's been approved. But as we speak now, a portal has been activated through the NTC's portal. The council has also issued a communique, and we have activated our outlets at a registration point where our members can go in and then they will be assisted. So we are assisting them to onboard and have the total number of persons who want to become professional teachers. And one thing is that we need to highlight is that these, let's say, licenses or let's say permits are not transferable. What it means is that when a person registered within this school and the authorization is given to or granted to such a school, that person is within the school. That person wouldn't be allowed to carry that kind of authorization to another school. If you want to do that, then it means that you are relinquishing your previous authorization, and then the new school applies for that. But there will be some sort of sanction questioning and other things from the previous school to find out your credibility in terms of why you are moving and all that. That is not also to say that we are restricting the teachers, but just to ensure that when we grant you that authorization, we have secured that whatever you are going to do, the liability will be lesser than somebody who is not under any supervision. I know there was a private school teacher continuous professional development project which was supposed to train some 2,000 teachers at the time. How has that also gone? That has been done through the support of Ministry of Finance. You know, as of 2019, we were about 80% of private school teachers that were classified as unprofessional teachers. So we called on other stakeholders, Ministry of Finance and other partners to come in and support us. And Ministry of Finance, together with the Ghana National Council of Private Schools, collaborated with UCC, is currently training the 2,000 teachers free of charge, being sponsored. As we speak now, USAID, through support from Opportunity International, has also adopted 17 districts in the northern region so that teachers within that space will be trained by UDS free of charge. So we are trying as much as possible to ensure that all the loopholes will be filled, and at the same time calling in other partners to come in and support the private schools. We've also come out with a scheme where the proprietors themselves put in some sort of financial commitment, and then the teacher gradually takes it as a step to go through. So in all, we are trying to say that we are trying to build the private schools to have a base where the professional teachers that we have been lacking for a number of years will be solved, and therefore we can augment the sort of quality education that we give at the pre-tertiary level.
And briefly, tell me about this authorization. We understand it's being a charge of 250 cedis to register for it. Yes. Are your members able to come up with this 250 cedis?
So as part of one of the issues that we haven't resolved is the charge. NTC has proposed 250 Ghana cedis. And within that 250 Ghana cedis, we have 100 cedis earmarked for the registration. And then the 150 Ghana cedis earmarked for training programs. So we are talking to NTC to have a sort of payment systems so that the burden will not always be on the proprietor to pay this. Because assuming you have 10 teachers that you have to register them, you can do the math and know how much you are going to pay. And this economic system, less period that the economy is not all that flourished, it becomes very difficult paying your regulatory and statutory taxes and all that. So we are in good, let's say, platform discussing with NTC to see how best we can all come up with a strategy that will support them and also support the private schools as well.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
He is the National Executive Director of the National Council of Private Schools. We'll be coming back to you by the end of May to check on the updates on this particular process to get the authorization for the teachers. Let's take a